Hey there. So today I got a speed paint of Zelda from Tears of the Kingdom. I have been wanting to do more fan art of this game, but had to hold off until I finished it because, I didn't want to look up reference and then totally spoil myself. So I beat the game, blasted through it. Uh, Man, oh man, that was a lot. So I'm just working out a couple of ideas here. Originally, I had thought of doing a diptych, that is two paintings side by side of Zelda and Link, but I didn't really like the composition. It felt, there's just a lot of empty space on either side. Didn't really know what to put in there. And then I had this idea of, okay, you know what? Let me just focus in on Zelda, and then I'm gonna do one focusing on sort of the theme of the blood moon in the game. There's this nice little day-night cycle, and um, you got to pay attention to the moon phases, just like Breath of the Wild. So, sort of rough that in here, and I am basing this off of an Alphonse Mucha painting, which I'll pop up on screen. Um, I thought that the composition was very nice. I like the sort of circular elements all around, very graphic. I really like Art Nouveau. It's very wispy, very wispy, whimsical, very clean, and for whatever reason, I'm really, really go back and forth a lot on the profile of Zelda. I was looking at, a reference, just a screenshot of her in profile, and I realized the model in the game has very strange proportions. So, as I was drawing it out, as I would lay out a normal human head, it didn't really work. So I've, a lot of futzing around with that, getting a bit of texture in the background, trying to figure out where everything is, how to align it. I end up going for using a vector layer, copy and pasting all these little moons in there. And it really didn't stay up on screen for that long. But let me tell you something. I will cheat at every given opportunity. Yes, I took a PNG of the moon and overlaid it and did some adjustments. I'm gonna cheat. The tools are there. If you know how to use the tools, use them. I don't care. I'm not gonna draw the moon 12 times in different phases. No, man. There's no reason to do that. Are you a maniac? Cheat. It's right there. It's free. Anyway, I do my first pass of line work, and it felt just too chunky for what I was going for. So I go over it again, and I really like how the line work turned out on this one. I'm usually not very clean or precise with my lines. I think that it's incredibly tedious and boring, and I like to be sloppy. But not today. I went for really clean lines because Alphonse Mucha. Oh dear, I looked it up. Mucha. Uh, he, he did a lot of lithographs, which is a form of printing. Litho meaning stone, graph meaning image. Um, so it's printmaking using stone, and it gets these very clean lines and sort of subtle color gradients. Really, really lovely. Um, and so I'm playing around with sort of the gradients, the soft shading within the colors. It's really easy to do too much with this style. The lithographs are very flat. It does not take a lot. You don't get hard shadows, which lends to the sort of airy, ethereal quality, and then a lot of just like texture in paper. Um, and then, of course, I've got this unfilled space, so I'm going to put in some flowers there from the game. And For as long as I agonized about getting the moons just right, they actually did not. I mean, apparently, looking at the recording, they did not take that long. Um, Probably most of the time spent in that was just menuing, getting the adjustment layers right, which doesn't show up in my recordings for whatever reason, just because it only captures the canvas. A lot of sliders in that. And then the flowers are just. Um, I was originally messing around with doing this in a vector layer so that I could have really precise control over the lines, and then I decided I didn't really need it. It was just getting in the way. And again, I think that my lines turned out pretty good. They don't have any taper to them. I just, the brush that I use is just a consistent thickness the entire time, which again should help with that lithograph feeling. And then I noticed that when there needs to be um, more delicate stuff going on, like it retains that line quality. So thin lines but consistent. Um, just a lot of foliage filling space. Art Nouveau is great just because of how it's very ornate, but it still has such a focus on design because the designs are still very flat. It doesn't get distracted with, say, creating a lot of depth, as in like Renaissance oil painting, for instance. They're not concerned with that. It's flat shapes, all balancing each other out. I should really brush up on the history of the movement, but I'm sure that it was influenced by Japanisme at the time, as um, ukiyo-e prints were making their way to the West. There's a lot of similarities with the printmaking and the flat colors, and then like any mass media graphic arts, a lot of actresses and ads and products and advertisements for local bars or what have you. So really, really fantastic art, but it's commercial art, which, just because it's commercial art doesn't mean that it's like bad or less than. I like Art Nouveau is one of my favorite art movements. I almost forgot the teardrop in there at the end. Very important little element. And there we go. There is Zelda with the moons all about. If you enjoyed this one, leave me a like. If you want to see me make something in particular next time, drop me a comment. And do me a favor and subscribe so that you can stay up to date. I should have some pretty exciting things coming up eventually, maybe in a year. We'll see how long my little animation project takes. I'll check y'all next time. Bye.